Hi.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. Hey, everybody. I'm so excited for today's podcast. I'm Seth or Rockers Gaming, as you know. I'm terminally ill and I've had a lot of issues through my life. So I feel like I have a lot to share with people and hope that you can use my information for inspiration or just to better your lives and maybe make you happier throughout the day.
And then I'm Oshin, Twitch wrestling addict, formerly known in the training of pro wrestling world, Ben Morris, former Phoenix trainee. You know, life life doesn't always go to plan. Right now I thought I'd be a pro wrestler, but now we're here on Twitch, live in the podcast world. Something will always work out.
Yeah, I never thought
But
we'd be here, to be honest.
no, I after our years of on and offs, I didn't think we'd ever get to this point, so
Dude, I never thought you would grow up. But heck yeah, dude, here we are. Dude, maybe we
yeah.
should get into that a little bit.
Into our little feud.
Yeah, like we've had a few rough times when we were younger.
Yeah, I'd say what was like 14, 15 at a push.
Yeah, about 14 or 15. And
You
like,
start it and I'll follow you up on this
okay,
because I
well,
need to recap
anyways,
my brain.
we would play games all the time together. Like when we met, after that, we would have a lot of fun playing games together. But Ocean was such a troll. Like he would do anything you could to troll people almost all the time.
Yeah,
And like sometimes we would just get on each other's nerves for sure. And
just like if I kicked his ass at Fortnite, he wouldn't take to it too well.
no, and when I kicked his ass, it was the same thing. Like I was
Yeah,
bragging about it, saying, I'm better than you. I'm the best sniper. Like for a while, we got really into Fortnite. Like we were like diehard Fortnite players.
that shit was life for about a year and a half
Yeah, it
aside from
was.
school.
But like we got to where we would do sniper battles. Then we get so pissed off at each other, and man, some there was one time. So this is when shit really went down. I uh I don't know. I got really mad at one of the fights, and then he said something really stupid that pissed me off, and I went crazy mad.
I mean, I did nothing wrong but killed you. It's what I said after that might have fucked up a little bit.
Yeah, but remember, it's like I reacted to it, but then you did something stupid in chat, if I remember,
I think I remember.
but I can't remember all the way. But we've
No,
definitely had our
sometimes you.
differences back then.
Yeah. Who would have thought we'd be co-hosting a podcast in 2023?
Yeah, and it happened to be with mental health when I couldn't even hold it together when I was getting kicked my ass kicked by a kid.
Yeah. I wish the fucking English. I wish the toughest life got was the Fortnite arguments, but I'd be
Yeah,
so wrong.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he was younger. Like you probably had no idea how to react to that. Because I was like
No, I thought it
hardcore
was.
bad at him. I was.
Yeah.
I treated him like a full grown adult.
Hmm. You treated me like I was 20.
Yeah,
I mean, I deserved it, but
exactly. Well, no, but then
I
again,
didn't know the feel
I
that.
did go way overboard when I think
I.
about it.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's really hard to keep your cool. Once you keep you get past like a certain point, it's really hard to hold your mentality.
Yeah, it's as if you get to a point where things get so bad that it can't possibly get any worse, so you just have to let the water settle and then go back to it.
Yeah, but that's hard to do sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're already past that point, and you just gotta be an asshole and say, "Screw you."
Yeah.
But that's not a good point to be. Like I hate it when I lose control
Same.
because I always say something or do something that I regret. Like I didn't want to say, or that I didn't even entirely mean. Like, like I'd say something like, just something that bothers me a little bit and turn it into like, just the worst thing in the world. Like,
Mhm.
and not even mean to. And then you're like, fuck. How do I take it back?
Yeah, that's the thing. And when you're 15, you don't really understand that someone's trying to take back what they said.
Yeah. Yeah, but that happens to me on so many occasions. Like, if I get in a fight with a girlfriend or my wife, like, I always say something that I don't mean to say. And I'm like, man, I gotta just try to keep my mouth quiet.
On the topic of saying things stupid, I did one really stupid thing that I thought was a thing of nothing when I was in a relationship,
Yeah,
and it fucked up a lot for about a week.
really.
Guess what it was, Seth?
But,
I did this. I rolled my eyes on a FaceTime,
and that
and that
caused
was
what?
taken. I rolled my eyes while on a FaceTime
Yeah.
because they said something stupid. And apparently I was the worst in the world for rolling my eyes.
For rolling your eyes?
Yeah, and I
How
thought I overreacted.
how dare you have eye emotions? Oh, so does
Exactly.
this piss you off?
Oh, it makes me want to break the
Oh,
camera, man.
you're gonna break my face now, man. Just I roll my eyes at you.
Yep.
Dude, I don't get it. Like, something so simple like that. Like, that's just a small gesture. And, like, why would they
It's
get
just
so
something.
mad?
It's just something you do when you get annoyed, and you sometimes forget there's a camera in front of your face. Like
Yeah.
if we were just on a voice call and there was no camera, that technically would have never happened.
But not just like that. Like, isn't that why we have faces? To have
Yeah,
gestures? Like, if you're annoyed, you
like
go,
sticking out your tongue. Someone will take
did,
huge offense to that.
oh, yeah. So I guess, you hear that in the chat. Jenny says, used to get my ass whooped if I rolled my eyes at one of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that that was tough. I bet then. If that would have
Yeah.
happened to me, my mom would have been smacking the shit out of me all the time. But
But
you
yeah, that's our Facebook page right there, sorting the chaos. There's gonna
yeah,
be some cool stuff coming to that pretty soon.
yeah, there is. I gotta do some editing of it. We're gonna get me into the group. Here's today's video. It's just an inspirational video to promote. I'm gonna be posting those on
Mm-hmm.
my TikTok probably 2-3 times a week, just to remind people about the upcoming podcast. And it might have some sneak peeks, so definitely look around for those.
Yeah, like the same with me. I got a personal TikTok. If you do want to check it out, it's Oisin Gallagher _S. I post a lot of daily
Can you
stuff,
put that in the chat
funny
too so
shit.
I can see it?
Yeah, I do some funny shit on there and stuff. But I also have done what 2 or 3 things now, mental health
Yeah,
related,
yeah,
with
exactly.
hashtag.
I mean, it's a new thing.
Yeah, like even if you go on TikTok and you type in hashtag sorting the chaos, that hashtag only has like 1,000 views. That's probably just me and Seth combined.
Yeah,
But what we posted, search that, you'll find us.
yep. If you do hashtag Sword of the Chaos, you can find us on TikTok and on Twitter.
We're on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, through me. The
Oh,
hashtag's
okay.
out there through me on
Oh, the
Twitter.
hashtag. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on Facebook too.
Yeah, I'm not making a Twitter for it, but I'm gonna get the hashtag out there.
Yeah, the Facebook's more like our plan for the Facebook is that if anyone's having a tough time when we're not streaming and you can't get in contact with us personally through TikTok or Twitch, because sometimes you need to be followed back by the person.
Yep.
You can send us a message on there, and one of us will see it after a few hours at max, and we will get back to you.
Yeah, definitely we will. We will
Because I will
definitely
just put
do
it out
that.
there, we are no professionals, but we'll do what we can to help or
Yeah,
try to help.
exactly. Like, I mean, if you're to the point where you feel like there's not much hope, like I'll do my best to give you some hope. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah,
don't feel comfortable taking control of anyone's life.
no, I'd say the exact same there. Like, if someone comes to me just saying they're having a bad day and what should they do, I can try and give them my view and advice on what I would do. But if someone's past that point to where they're coming to me as a last resort, I would offer them the resources and contact details of the
Yeah, to
proper
a
authorities to
professional
help
though,
that.
because
Yeah,
because you gotta think if we give you guys advice and it goes wrong, we have to pay that price. We have to feel the
yeah, like
guilt. Like if you guys, if someone did something bad because of something we said, we have to live with that, and that's
yeah.
not.
I'd hate to think if I ever gave someone advice and they took it or took it the wrong way and it went wrong quickly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life, and I don't want to live with that. I don't want to live with
yeah.
the
I mean
thought of someone else's life
that would
fucking on my
definitely be.
shoulder.
Yep, that would definitely be hard to live with.
Yeah. So what's our first topic of the night?
Well, let's see here. It was mostly to start with relationships, the dark side of
Yeah,
relationships.
right.
But let's wait for this ad break to stop here. We have an ad break on our
Yeah,
Twitch.
I think it stopped on my end.
Did it? Maybe I need to refresh.
Yeah, yeah, I can see us again.
Okay, I'll do a refresh on that one. Okay, so yeah, dark side of relationships. That's what we're talking about. You have something to start off with on that?
I'm gonna let you roll with this, and I'm gonna jump in because I gotta recap my memory real quick on the topic.
Okay, well, I mean, mostly just the relationship stuff. Um, so I guess I could talk about a bad relationship I have done.
Hmm.
Because I've had quite a few bad relationships, and being in my situation, with my terminal illness, once I got close to somebody, I felt like I had to tell them. I had to say, I'm not gonna live a full life because of this terminal illness I have, and that always led to the dark side of lots of relationships. Is because if you don't see a future, like you usually try to find someone you want to grow old with, or you want to make a life with. You know what I mean? And if they don't
Yeah, like
see a future like that, it's really easy for them to shut you out or go away. Like I
yeah, like
had
in
time
my
after time, I had to do that throughout a lot of my
right,
relationships.
because even in my experience, like within the first month maybe of being, an official couple, boyfriend, girlfriend thing, you know, without even realizing it, you start to talk about a future. You start to talk about the idea of kids moving in together, where you'd like to live, where you see this going. You don't even mean it. It's as if it comes naturally,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, definitely. And it could be a struggle. Just like a lot of the things. Like it's always bad too. Like when you have a partner, that drags you down in some form, and it takes you forever to figure out that it's happening. That is something that I really hate about relationships. Like there'll just be that one thing that you don't even realize. It takes someone to see it happen and point it out to you for you to realize it, and then you're like, I've been letting them do this the whole time.
Yeah, because like even with me, it's on the topic. I would like to think, imagine like you work for 2 years of your life, right?
Yeah,
You work every day, same job every day, and then suddenly that disappears. No contact, no nothing. With a relationship, when it breaks off, if it breaks off, it has that feeling. You get that sudden feeling that you're missing something in your life, and you kind of it takes you a long time to get to the point of accepting that you ain't getting that back with that person. You know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then you have the period of time it takes for you to even trust enough to try to get that back.
Yeah, because I mean, your first, at least for me, in my view as a man, as a biological male, my first thought after a breakup is like, not, okay, how do I move on? How do I find someone new? How do I better my own life? It's how do I fix this past situation and try and get back what I once had, you know?
Yeah,
But it took me, what, 9, 10 months to realize it ain't that easy.
no, it's not that
Some,
easy.
some things can't be fixed.
Yeah, and
And
like,
sometimes that's not your fault either, you know?
yeah, that's true too. Sometimes it isn't your fault. Sometimes,
Some things just
like,
aren't meant to be fixed.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like if I'm with a person and I figure out that I don't actually love them or I don't want to be with them, it's not fair to me to stay in that relationship, and it's also not fair to the other person.
Yeah,
Like you might think, well, it's better not to hurt them. That's false. How can they move on and have the life they're supposed to have if you lead them on with and be unhappy? Because at the same time,
exactly.
the whole time that you're unhappy, you're taking it out on them without even knowing it.
Yeah, and you're going to be giving yourself and them a sense of a false reality. And then
Exactly.
you're going to be convincing them everything's okay. And
Exactly.
as soon as you say that, you're sitting there trying to convince yourself that what you said is okay.
Yeah, exactly. And not just that, you're also trying to mask feelings that you can't really mask. Like you can throw out a smile, sure, but in some form or some way throughout the day of being with that person, you're gonna let those things out in some way. It may not
Yeah,
even
that's what I
be
was going to say.
that
They're going to see
obvious.
right through. Yeah,
Yeah. It's better just to try to get yourself away from it. You know,
yeah,
and sometimes it's not hard or not easy. Like if you have children, it's really hard to just get away from it. You know what I mean? If you're married, it's hard to get away from it. And that can
yeah. And
that
like,
can force you to stay behind. But if you truly know that you're not going to be happy with someone, you shouldn't stay with them whether you're married, whether you have children. It's not worth it for any of you because it's going to affect your children negatively too. Like always seeing you unhappy together, you know what I mean? And then they can look at that and that can make them think that's how it's supposed to be when they grow up.
hmm and the other scary part to think is when you realize you're unhappy with someone and it's time for you to go, you also have to kind of, let everyone else around you know. Because
Yeah.
with the sad fact of social media, if you delete a selfie with an ex, some fucker is going to message you and say, what's that about? And you might even know them.
Yeah. That's why
And
if
that's the
it's
tough part.
that's why if
That
it's
that
me with social media and a relationship, like if I end my relationship, I steer clear of social media as for a while, just because like you need time to heal. And you can't heal while you're getting a message every 20 seconds. What happened? What happened? What's going on? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
because
need time to
sometimes if
figure
the
out
other
what's
one,
going on myself first.
yeah, because like if the other person broke up with you and someone in your friends list is asking what happened, you mightn't even know what happened. You just know it's over. You don't know why.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's for sure true. So, to get into another topic about relationships here, we were gonna get into the fact like of like being manipulated or controlled in a relationship,
hmm
and like ways to try to maybe steer clear of that or ways to know what's happening.
Yeah.
So, think about your relationship that you had. What was there any times when you felt like that's what was happening?
Yeah, believe it or not, at the time I didn't realize it. It's only more recent times since I started talking to you and others about this stuff.
Yeah.
People pointed out to me, shit, that was a bit manipulative of other people towards you. And at the time, I brushed it off. I was like, oh, that's what happens. But no, it there was times where I felt a bit manipulated. Like, let's say I wanted to do this podcast a year ago, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to choose between doing this podcast or let's say FaceTiming that person or traveling to their house.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll make you feel bad for picking the opposing thing.
Okay. Yeah, that
Like
makes sense.
if I was like, hey, I want to go do this podcast tonight, I can't call until later. And they're like, oh, but we always call at this time,
Yeah.
do you not love me? That's tough.
Yeah, that is really tough. And that was them manipulating you to make themselves feel better,
Yeah.
to make themselves feel more
Because
secure in the relationship, which isn't even
yeah,
fair at
but
all.
then I was kind of the dumbass because if there was ever a time they said they were busy, I'd just sit there and I'd be like, okay. I'd let them do it to me, then I wouldn't do it back. And I'd
Yeah.
not only not just not do it back, but I'd just sit there like a fucking slug and say nothing. I'd just be lost in my thoughts.
And that could, yeah, that could be a big game changer there doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you did that, what happened? They would get more
Say
upset.
that again.
So when you did those things, would they get more upset or what?
What, if I picked something else over the person?
Yeah,
That's the thing. I never really picked something else over the
you just
person.
decided not to because you knew what would happen.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
so in reality, you got beat down mentally to where you're just like, I'm not gonna pick anything over them because it's either
Yeah,
them
I
or
mean,
this other thing.
I lost friends by doing that, man. My friend would text me when I wake up in the morning, hey man, Fortnite tournament tonight. You playing Fortnite with the boys, right?
Yep.
I'd be like, yeah, for sure. I'd be there during the day. Oh, it's been like fucking 2 months since I played PlayStation with the lads. Finally, old times, good times.
Yep.
And then I'm just logging on. I just log in, ring, ring, FaceTime, and I'm like, uh, you know, you got dragged into that instead of doing what I wanted to do. Not that I can't lie. There were some nights the phone calls and all that probably turned out better than the game would be. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I lost friends by doing that because they were like, well, Oshin, fuck you. You're ditching us for your girlfriend or your relationship partner or whatever. So,
Yeah.
they didn't take too nicely to that. At first, they were accepting. But, a lot of them, I was 17 at the time. So they
Yeah.
was what, 15, 16, 17?
Yeah.
It was my first relationship, and some of them had no relationship. So
Yeah.
they, as we were talking about earlier with our kind of arguments when we were younger,
Yeah.
they didn't understand. They were like, "Why is he picking this over us?"
Yeah. But
You
that's
know?
just that like it gets rough. Like when you're used to spending time with someone and you can't anymore, because of a
Yeah,
girl or because of any reason, it's just you have that separation anxiety. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like even like you remember when I was in that relationship, right? Because we were
Yeah.
friends on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I put up a selfie, and you messaged me being like, "Who's that?" or something.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, notice for that whole period, I was rarely on Twitch. I rarely asked you to play something. I
Yep.
might have came on once to play golf, I think.
Yeah.
Once in like 9 months. When a year prior to that, I would have been on at least twice a week.
Yeah. Exactly. Like that is true. But I understand if it's because you want to spend time with that person all the time. Yeah, I mean, if you love them that much and you want to be with them, that can make sense. But like, if you're trying to get time away and then they make you feel bad, even when it's like an hour after a couple of months, that's definitely manipulating you into doing what they want, and they're not putting your
Yeah, like
feelings. They're not putting your feelings in picture at all. They're like, what fuck is feelings?
I'm gonna say something on this podcast that I've never said to anyone in my personal life, and no one
Okay.
actually knows this, not you, Seth. Unless I told you one night, but no one else would know. So back 2 weeks before my 18th birthday, she was coming to visit my house, right?
Yeah.
And she told me she had COVID, or she might have COVID, or no, sorry, she told me she was in contact with someone who had COVID, right?
Okay.
And I was like, fuck, my grandmother's 84,
Yeah.
83 at the time. I don't want that in my house. I don't want to kill her. It could have killed her.
Yeah, definitely.
But I didn't have the heart to tell her, maybe don't come down till you're in the clear, or I'll go up to your house and risk me catching it because, I can take it. I'm 18 or 17 at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I went to my family and I was like, hey, I think she has COVID. Could you say something for me? Right?
Okay.
Because I didn't have the heart to, but they wouldn't. They were like, look, it's coming up to your 18th birthday. We'll worry about this stuff after, right?
Yeah.
So turns out it was the COVID, tested positive in my house.
Oh,
But yeah,
dang.
and she started wearing a mask going to sleep, which I
Oh,
even thought was a bit weird, right? I know it was trying to keep people safe and stuff, but I was like, it's my room, the door's closed. You're already in my room. I'm probably going to get it anyway. So
yeah.
just take your mask off, even though I knew if she took that mask off, I was 100% getting it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you probably get it anyway, sleep next to another period.
Yeah, but in ways, when I think back, I'm thinking, did I purposely get COVID to make that person not feel so bad about having it just themselves?
And yeah, you did.
You know, because I was more sick with it to a point. I have some underlying health myself, so my pains got worse. I
Yeah.
my depression got worse because I spent my 18th birthday in a bedroom that wasn't mine. We had this big party planned, and all this, but instead I spent my 18th birthday in a bedroom playing beer pong.
Yeah,
Which,
that's gotta suck.
which thinking back, kind of fun, yeah, but it's not an 18th birthday I really like to remember.
Yeah.
It's your biggest birthday ever, technically, and I'll never forget it, but I don't remember it how I hoped I would.
Yeah, I can definitely
But
say
that
I
kind of just
understand that.
that just dips into not everything in life going to plan, but that just happens too. Can't blame
Yeah, that's
anyone for
true.
that.
But don't you feel like now don't you feel like you wish you would have came up with the balls to just say, hey, don't come. That's not safe for my family.
Yeah, because my mother got very sick with it, like bad, bad, and my nan. My mother thought she'd have to go
Exactly.
to the hospital.
And
I I wish I just said, look, let me come up there
yeah,
and I'll catch it because I was like, fuck it, I'll take it. I had it twice before. It's not
yeah,
gonna really kill me the third time. And at least I could have then quarantined and it would have never came near my house. I'd be clear by the time I go home.
yep,
Because when I had COVID, I was there, like my mother and nan were ringing me,
yeah,
and I was, I was like, I felt bad because I felt sick, but I'm more worried about an 84-year-old.
yeah, exactly. Who cares about
Because I'm like, this shit won't kill me. I may have fucked up lungs for a few months, but it ain't gonna kill me.
yeah. And even if it did, like someone that's 84, that's way bigger deal.
Yeah, like, let. I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but my nan getting COVID, I guess, would kind of be like you getting COVID with your health.
Oh yeah, and I have. I did get it.
It if me and you got COVID, I'd rather me get it because I know I can take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it
But
really
like,
sucks how someone can blind you with that and that she should have been taking that into consideration too. She knows that your
I guess
grandma's there.
it's gonna sound pretty cringy, but I guess you could say I was blinded by love.
Yeah, but that's the truth,
Like,
and we
I
all
had my
do.
common sense. I knew what not to do,
Yep.
but I still did it, which is kind of, I don't know why I did it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it again, But if I went back in time, I'd probably end up doing it again because I wouldn't know any better back then.
Yeah, that I can completely understand that. Like I've been blinded by love so many times. You know, like the fact that I even married my wife. I was blinded by love that whole time and that was just my side. This whole time I'm
Okay.
blinded by love. I love struck. It wasn't even like that for her. She never actually loved me.
Yeah.
But
See,
that was a
as
big
you said
mistake.
there, that's what I find weird. I know I love that person, right? But I'll never know if they actually loved me or if they were just going with it.
Well, this is what I've realized over the years. This is my conclusion I've came to. You can truly
Yeah,
love someone, okay, but unless they truly love you, it will not last forever.
exactly.
You know,
Sorry,
like
I'm looking
like
off
like
in the back.
love can be one sided, but a
Yeah,
relationship that's actually gonna work can't be.
yeah. Like for instance, it's kind of a shit example, but it'll make sense to a lot of people on here, and especially you see it on YouTube, because I'm gonna promote this to people in my personal life, so they'll know this thing. Like I'm a huge Marilyn Manson fan, right?
Yeah,
I love his music. I love his character.
the
He doesn't even
beautiful
know who the fuck I
people,
am.
the beautiful people.
Do you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
can love someone, doesn't mean they will love you back.
no,
Doesn't even mean they acknowledge you.
no,
But that's different because at least with that, you know it's a one-sided thing.
yeah, that's true. That's all you expect. So it's not gonna hurt your feelings.
No, because like I have dreams of hopefully meeting him one day, getting a picture, a selfie, getting him to sign my arm by the portrait so I can get it tattooed on.
But
But
that's something that you may
if
be
it,
able to do.
oh, 100%, because once he goes touring, he does meet and greets. It's going to be like 3 grand, but at the same time, that's for me, like that's top tier bucket list
But
shit.
exactly, and you've gone there before. Like you got James Ellsworth, you got to go meet him, right?
I flew to New York for my 16th birthday just to meet James Ellsworth.
That's so crazy, right?
And people thought I was crazy because they were like, The Undertaker is in the same building, but you didn't even go to meet The Undertaker. You just went to see James Ellsworth.
Yeah, yeah,
But like, if I met The Undertaker, I'd be like, oh, cool, I met The Undertaker. But what's this? 17? Or no, 16. Nearly 3 years later, I'm still talking about that experience nearly every day. I'll
yeah.
never forget that.
Okay, yeah. To keep off topic with you for a minute, when I was younger, I went to a muscular dystrophy. Like it was like the MDA day for by the Z's in Quincy,
Yeah.
Illinois. But it's called the MDA Telethon. The Undertaker came there. And he donated money to the cause, and I actually got to sit on his motorcycle, and I actually got to get on his shoulders. He picked
That's
me up
awesome.
and put me on his shoulders. This was when I was like 12, and
Hmm.
like it was the craziest experience ever. And that man was the most down to earth, nicest guy I ever met.
Right. Because you look at these like characters like Marilyn Manson, James Ellsworth, The Undertaker, Kid Rock, right?
Yeah,
And you just think they're this huge ego personality.
yeah,
But if you catch them at the right time and you meet them and you're like, your music or your performance got me through the tough times, they will shake your hand or give you a hug and they will tell
yep,
you how much that means to them.
exactly. And those are the people that are awesome. Like, there's not a lot of actors like that or a lot of celebrities like that, but the ones that are wholesome, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Like,
Because
I had the
I'd like to think
chance.
of because I'd like to think of where I would be like if I was famous. Am I gonna keep my ego low or am I gonna grow an ego? Like you never really know.
See, I hope I wouldn't grow an ego, but there's a good chance you would. But at the end of the day, you'd be nowhere without the fans.
Yep.
Like, even think about our podcast. We wouldn't be doing this if people weren't willing to watch.
Yeah. But I mean at the beginning we have small expectations.
We do, but at the same time, we know at least a handful of people are going to tune in and listen to some of what we're saying.
Exactly. So we don't feel like we're just talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they take some of that home with us, with them, we did our job essentially.
Exactly true. And if we could get them to start being involved and like we help them with problems that they can relate to. But that doesn't mean
Yeah,
much because lurking is a good thing and they're still able to get that information and soak it in how they want it.
yeah. Like there could be people in here right now with their phone on the side playing this as they're cooking dinner, but
Yep.
they're still taking in one or two things. They don't need to
Exactly.
be chatting to be relevant and present.
Definitely not true. Not at all. And those that miss this because we're putting it on YouTube, they'll have another chance to see it down the
Yeah.
road.
Like that whole thing of like the Undertaker and Ellsworth our experience. I never knew that, so I'm probably going to clip this afterwards and put that on my TikTok or something because that's something I didn't know. I found that interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was an amazing thing. And it turns out he always goes to those because he's a biker and he loves motorcycles and that's what he did.
Yeah,
Him and like a whole crew of bikers. I don't remember which group it was, but they all came to it and he ended up donating like $250,000 to the cause and everything.
that's crazy.
Yeah. That was the only
Because
experience I ever had and the only telethon I ever went to. But it was
yeah,
amazing. Definitely was amazing.
for sure.
So, do you have any more to say on the manipulation?
On the manipulation,
Yep.
I guess we could say like the red flags we saw and how other people could avoid it if they see it in time.
Yeah, that is definitely a good point. And also about having the strength to when you're told about it and you see it, trying to figure out how to have the strength to stop it.
Yeah, like
That's a hard thing to do
some
also.
yeah, like you know, we've all probably seen it at the time and knew what it was, but sometimes I won't. The only phrase I know is sometimes you don't have the balls to do anything about it because you're scared.
Yeah.
You're scared. If I don't go along with this, I could lose this person. I could lose this relationship. But
Or it could even
sometimes
go
that
to the
might just be
extent
for the best.
or it could even go to the extent of they could hurt them or
Yeah.
sabotage them in some way.
Hmm.
But yeah, that it could definitely be a bad thing.
Yeah. Like the only thing I could, I guess, try and recommend to people from my experiences, if you think you're being manipulated but not sure, I wouldn't say talk to the person about it straight away. I would tell a close friend or a trusted acquaintance what happened. If you go out for a beer or a coffee with them or
Yeah.
on a phone call, and just ask their view. And if they think it's manipulation and you half think it, then most likely it is.
Yeah.
But if they say
Definitely true.
no, I think it's just them being a bit lonely at the time, then maybe it is that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell, but
Yeah.
I
Getting
guess
getting another opinion on this other than the two sources or the people involved is a good idea.
yeah, because it's like if you have a medical condition, like with me. I went to one doctor and he said, "Oh, no, it's a thing of nothing. Don't worry about it. It'll go away." Then I went for a second opinion against the doctor's advice,
Yeah.
and I put on painkillers and put under a knife. You know, so it's always who you ask and how trusted your source is.
Yeah. That's also true. You need an unbiased source. You need someone that you can
Yeah, like
ask and you know that they're not just going to tell you what you want to hear.
that's why thinking about it, sometimes a close friend mightn't be the best person to ask because they might just take your side. But why not ask like someone you're friendly with? Like for me, there's people I'd have pints with once a week. I'm not friends with them. We're drinking buddies, you call it, right?
Yeah.
But if I ask their opinion on something, They're not going to pick my side or the other side because, to be honest with you, they do not care.
Yeah, they're just gonna throw you. They're just gonna throw you what they think. Throw you
And
their
that might
actual
actually be
opinion.
the best opinion in that situation.
Yeah, that could definitely be. Or if you know it's someone that isn't going to just tell you what you want to hear,
Yeah,
like
with
me,
our podcast.
like me, for instance, with my girlfriend, she knows she can ask me stuff like that or tell me stuff like that, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not gonna tell her anything just to like make her happy or just to change her mind. Like I'm just gonna be 100% honest because
Yeah,
people
that's the
need
thing.
that when they're asking you for advice. They need real honesty, but you have to take your emotions out of it sometimes.
Like, even thinking about it, they could probably come to us because, yeah, we're here to help people, but if you tell us something and want our opinion on it and we think you're wrong, we're not going to tell you you're wrong because it's not our place. But we'd give you our opinion on what we think of that, you know?
Exactly, like
And
we might say in our opinion that's wrong, but we're definitely always going to try to cover ourselves in that manner because
yeah,
we don't want to negatively affect anyone at all. Like
we don't want to
like
affect
like
anyone. We don't
anything
want
we
to
do
affect
positive is
health.
great. Like I don't care if I
Yeah.
affect you positively. That's great. I love that. But I do not
But
want to have a negative effect on anyone's life here.
we'll keep this completely anonymous as to who it was. But in the last week, Seth, remember we had someone come on here asking for our advice on I believe, a relationship topic.
Yeah.
And we didn't tell them what to do, but we gave them our opinion on their overall situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And I believe they asked, should I save the relationship?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
we
and we
didn't say yes
said
or no.
yeah, but we said if it was us and you really want to stay in the relationship, it would be good to maybe test the things that they have a problem with.
Test the waters, maybe stop doing certain things,
Yeah, yeah, and try a
start
little bit.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to be sure that they really want to make that choice. Like, ask them a few times and say, "Hey, are you sure this is something you want to save?" And
Hmm.
then that's when I'm available in my mind. I feel okay enough to give them an honest thing that I would do to try to fix it.
Yeah, that's because that's exactly what we did.
But anyone can take
And
our
we thought,
opinions with a grain of salt. Like we don't, that's fine. If you ask us something, we give you information you don't care for at all. We don't expect you to use
don't
it.
take it.
Yeah,
No. Where you could just use us in that way, to vent to. You
yeah,
could tell us what's happening. And even if you don't want their opinion or advice,
yeah,
bounce it off us so you're getting it out there.
yeah.
You know,
We're
because
definitely okay with
if
just
you're
being a bit.
if you're on your phone like that typing it, you'll see what you're saying more than just thinking it in your head. You're going to be reading as you're typing, so it might drill something in there that you didn't think before.
That's true. Just venting can really help. And
I
actually,
mean, it works.
and if you're not comfortable venting with an actual person, a journal or a diary is a great thing.
Or nowadays, what's a great thing too is, I believe all phones, tablets, computers, and devices have a built-in voice recorder.
Yeah,
You could talk to that in the morning and listen back to it at night. And if you don't like listening back to your own voice, I believe there's a setting where it will try its best to type what you said.
yeah,
So you can do that too if you don't like talking to people about things.
yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I've done that on a few occasions.
Yeah, me myself, when I get really upset and I have to let something out, and I want to do it in a manner where no one else knows, I write it down. I like to write poetry or songs. I like to express myself through music because when I was
Yeah,
younger and able to move, I was a musician. I loved music. I was playing guitar. I was singing. I was going out to shows, opening for people, playing, having a good time, and I loved that. Like that's one thing that I have that we'll probably get into one day. We'll get into about
yeah,
my situation and how I went from being a kid, being completely normal, to being how I am now. And I'm getting closer and closer every year to being not even able to move my arms. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that does affect people. That is difficult. When I was younger, it was very, very hard when I first started
Yeah.
going through that stuff.
I had one last thing to say on our topic before we move on
Okay.
that I just came to mind. Um, so basically, right, you know the way we were kind of on about red, what was it exactly? Not red flags. How do we have it worded?
Um.
Manipulation.
Yeah, just being controlled or manipulated by a partner.
Yeah, like on that topic, what I was thinking was, you shouldn't ask other people to do something that you wouldn't be comfortable in doing yourself.
Yeah.
That would be the rule one. But also the second part of that is just because you're comfortable with something doesn't mean the other person is.
That's true.
Like, me and Seth come on here talking about our personal lives and all this stuff. But there could be someone in our chat or on YouTube who would be not scared but uncomfortable with going on a video camera in front of an audience or on a public internet
Yeah.
talking about their problems. It's the same thing.
Yeah. But here in our place, like we'll allow people to do guest star and come into our thing if that's what they want to do. Like someone wants to showcase
Yeah,
their problems and help us all learn something, we would be okay with that. But we're gonna be
yeah, like
okay with any of it though. We're like if you don't want to showcase your stuff and you just need an opinion or you want a private conversation, we're open for that too. Like we
yeah,
might not
or
get back
even
to
if
you
you
right
want
away, but we will take the time and we will get back to you.
to, right, because even if you want something showcased, but you don't want to speak publicly or have your name attached,
Yeah.
you can contact us privately
Yep.
and tell us what it is, and
Exactly.
we can just put you up as anonymous, and we can tell your story for you in the best way we can from what
Yep.
you told us.
Yeah,
We
we
can
could
do
do
that too.
that.
No problem.
And we can break it down and analyze it piece by piece if you want to. Like
Mhm.
and topics. We're definitely up for topics. If anyone wants to suggest
Yeah,
topics, please do. Because, we'll talk about a lot of topics, but if we're the only ones thinking of the ideas, then they're gonna stay pretty pointed at certain things. Because with
mhm.
me and Ocean, like we don't have a lot mentally wrong with
Yeah, like
us, but the things that we do is what the things that we're familiar with, familiar fist. The things that we're familiar with is probably what we're gonna try to stick to. So definitely
yeah, but
topics.
we'd like to expand on that because right now we can really only talk about things we've dealt with ourselves or had friends and family deal with that we understand. But
Yeah,
we'd love to have like topics and suggestions in the way that we don't have to talk about relationships and mental health specifically
yeah,
every week. We can talk about like the stresses of getting a new job or going to a new school
yes,
or
exactly.
moving house. It's all under mental health. It's all under that
Or
umbrella.
just the big stresses of big life changes, or
Yeah.
we can talk about getting stressed before a test for school. Like, yeah,
Or the stress of grief if a loved one passes away.
ooh,
We'd have
that's
some understanding of that stuff.
that's a rough one. I
Yeah.
can
That
actually
that
hear. Let me give a. I'm gonna give a couple minute expansion into that subject, just because it really that's something that sat with me, and that was a life changing thing for me. Okay, growing
mm,
up, I never had a dad. I not a real dad. Like biologically, my dad doesn't even know that I exist. But my grandfather was always the guy I looked up to as a person. He was a pastor. He was a Christian. He was a farmer. He was just an all around good person that I looked up to. And when he
yeah.
passed, when I was, what was it? It was 2007 or 2008. Like I was very, very distraught. Like I went crazy, and I actually ended up becoming an alcoholic. I ended up quitting school, and I ended up drinking every day, and I had no idea how to deal with it. Like I thought I dealt with it, but in reality, that whole time that I was drinking, the whole time that I had done that, I hadn't dealt with anything. And that was a very tragic time in my life. And just, so much wasted time when, if I really would have talked to somebody, maybe I could have dealt with it. That's something I kind of regret. See, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. Like, if anyone comes here with any issues that are causing them to, like, say, hurt themselves, say, causing them to do drugs or to drink or
Yeah, basically
depend.
causing people what we'll call self-medicate.
Exactly. Anything's doing that. Like, if we or if I could have a chance that's stopping you guys from wasting your time, wasting your life, and maybe help you to understand that you just need someone there for you, I will gladly do it.
But as Seth is getting the link, what I was saying is, my granddad would have been basically my dad. So when he passed, my way of dealing with things at the time, which was the wrong way, thinking back, but it didn't work for me, I guess, but was, blaming the surgeon, blaming God, blaming fate. I wouldn't say that's how you should deal with things, but when when you can't accept that someone's died,
Yeah,
you you kind of try and push blame elsewhere as to why it happened.
yeah,
And it just,
definitely.
I used to be a quiet kid anyway, but it ended up making me a lot quieter, but also a lot angrier. But no one would see my anger. I'd just feel it on the inside.
Yeah, yeah,
Thankfully, it never really boiled up and exploded, but there was times I would have snapped in school, at a teacher or just walking out of classes or leaving the building or whatever.
yeah,
People didn't really understand because they were like, "Oh, it's your granddad. You shouldn't be
yeah,
that upset." But if I had said it was my dad that died, then they'd understand. But it's hard to explain to some people when they have both parents structured in their lives.
yeah. That's definitely true, and I can see how that would be
Like, I'm not saying it's
different
not
for sure.
hard losing your granddad when you've structured parents, but I assume you wouldn't be as close or have as much the bond.
Yeah, and here's something that we need to get into still on that old subject. Which, guys, sometime we'll actually have a podcast where we talk more about those. Like, that's just like a small amount, just for now, because we're like, you know how it is. Like, you get something in front of your face, and you're just like, I gotta talk about it. It's there. I gotta say something.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen sometimes. Which it will also help fill up our time.
Hmm.
Because we got 2 hours we're trying to fill of just getting stuff done and talking about mental health. But
Yeah.
now you were talking about something that I don't know much about. You were saying something earlier about men feeling lonelier for some reason.
Yeah.
So,
Because
so what knowledge do you have about that?
this is kind of, I'm going to have to put it out there. This is a biased view, but not in a bad way, only in the way that I only know one side to it. And the rest is from what I've seen and heard, right?
Yeah,
So when I had my breakup, in a way, my friends were kind of there for me, but it was more you got to slap in the back of the head and say, yeah, fuck you, you're a dickhead, get back in Fortnite, right?
yeah,
And you just have to get on with things. Just, you have to act as if it didn't happen around the lads. Because when you're around a group of boys aged 16 to 19, they're like, oh, it's a breakup, get over it?
yeah,
Because the ones who had a relationship before and had a breakup or were in a relationship or were still in a relationship at the time and are now,
yeah,
they were a lot, more caring and accepting about it because they knew where it was coming from.
yeah,
But when you're 18 years of age, a lot of your friends are single and either your age or a year younger or older, give or take.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
they got no sympathy for you in the way that, not that I was looking for sympathy, but they don't care. They're like, they don't understand and they don't really care. They're like, get on with your life.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas, from what I've seen and heard afterwards, when a girl has a breakup or they're the one who breaks up with their boyfriend, their friends are so supportive and they're like, "Oh, slay, sis, you did the right thing," and they're all, you get what I mean by that, right?
yeah,
They're a
yeah,
lot more supportive and comforting from what I've seen,
yeah,
and also from on that part that men get more lonely. I never bounced back into another relationship since. I've met a few people, went on a few dates, but it wasn't because I wanted to. I
yeah,
wasn't seeking anything new. It was just to try and fill a void temporarily. Like the people I was talking to, I had to warn them in advance. It's like, I will meet you for a date, but just to let you know, my mindset doesn't see this going anywhere right now. You know,
yeah,
yeah, it's still open, but the thing that men get more lonely and men get more upset to a degree sometimes is they the person that broke up with you, excuse me, would send their friends to, harass you, insult you, threaten you, try and scare you. Do you get what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. This kind of ties into being bullied in your relationship.
Yeah, it's like the bullying, but continues after. Because, like, I kind of thought when I was in the relationship, these people were my friends now, right? But as soon as the breakup happened, kind of felt like all of them were kind of out to get me.
Yeah,
That's what I meant by that.
yeah, I can definitely understand that. But also another reason is that okay, a lot of men don't like talking about their feelings.
Yeah.
They don't like looking for sympathy, or they feel like it's not masculine to talk about your feelings and stuff, which is definitely not true.
Exactly. Maybe 100 years ago, yeah, but now we're in a different world. I
Yeah,
believe.
definitely, and I think that kind of has some to do with why men seem to be lonely or more upset at times,
Yeah.
because women tend to express themselves a lot more than men, so
hmm
maybe that's why men would feel that way.
Also, what I realize in society, this is nothing to do with my personal situations. This is just what I've seen and learned on my own. If you're out at a pub, you never see a man crying, right? Realistically, or often.
Yeah,
But if a girl's crying, everyone's like, what's wrong? What happened? You know? But there was nights, there was one night I was in the pub. I got heavily intoxicated to try and deal with things. And I broke down to tears in the middle of a pub where I was friends with people. And a few of them did look out for me and they were like, what's wrong? But then I've suffered the backlash of that for the last 3 months.
oof,
People making fun of that night I broke down.
yeah,
And I try to laugh about it when I'm there. But then I go home and I'm like, you fucking bitch, I'm trying to forget about this?
yeah, yeah. I definitely understand that. Like that does not feel good for sure.
Yeah, and I only had, if you don't mind, I only had one other thing on the loneliness part in
Okay,
men.
go ahead.
What date is today? Like the 31st of
It's
January?
the 30th for me, so yeah, 31st for you.
Yeah, Valentine's Day is what, like 15 days away or some shit?
Yeah, just a few days.
Yeah, like last year, in my eyes at the time and still now, that was English, probably the happiest day of my life in a long, long time. And I'm sitting here now and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do on Valentine's Day? Because I know due to memories and stuff, I'm going to be really depressed that day if I just sit here and do nothing. But at the same time, I know I can't in any way top last year. So it's just trying to, try to not be too lonely on the day, trying to not get too much inside your head, and still trying to enjoy yourself,
Yeah,
you know?
that is a little hard to do, but
And, and that's, to be completely honest with everyone listening in and you, Seth, it's the one thing I'm kind of worried about myself because I'm like, I don't know how my brain's going to take to this because I
yeah,
haven't dealt yet with anything we'll call anniversaries of memories, if that makes any sense.
yeah.
And between Valentine's Day and my 19th birthday, I feel like I've set high standards for myself to try and match. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can do it.
Well, no, I don't think maybe you're looking at it wrong there. Like, try to look at the day like it's gonna be better than a day you actually had those people. Probably not, but at the same time, it's like you just gotta try to keep your mind busy, try to do something that's constructive, and you know, there's not much you can do about the thoughts because they're probably gonna happen. But
Yeah,
having something to
hard as it
keep your
gets.
mind from wandering on them thoughts for a long period of time is what you need.
Yeah, because my first thought was, oh, I'll go see a movie. It'll be nice and relaxed. But if you go see a movie on your own on Valentine's Day, you're going to be surrounded by like 100 couples. That might be the best situation for your head there and then.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if you know what to do.
If I
I'm
know
gonna,
if I know what to do with that situation,
yeah, that's why I think that would be a good topic closer to Valentine's Day. Let's see how this has progressed and see what
well,
I'm actually gonna do.
dealing with being single on the holidays,
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
yeah, that could definitely be a good one. But I've been there quite a few times, you know.
Hmm.
That after Tracy, after Tracy decided she was going to split from me, not after she left. This was before she left. It was the year that she stayed here, so I could try to figure something out, but I never could. But
Yeah,
that year, she went somewhere else for Valentine's Day. And I was here, married, alone, and just sad, and there was nothing I could do about it. Because I wanted to be with her. Like, I wanted to be her man still. I wanted to, you know, be with her forever because, that was the vow I made, anyways. But
yeah.
that was a really difficult time for me. But the way I dealt with it was I got on my stream, I played games, and I just did my best. Yeah, I thought about it, but I did my best to stop myself from dwelling on it. Because that's the
That
part that really sucks. Like, yeah, it
that might
hurts.
actually be. You
Yeah,
might have an idea there.
yeah.
If you're not doing anything at a certain time, we could do like a Valentine's Day exclusive.
Well, yeah, if you need me to be there for you for Valentine's, bro, hell yeah, we could do something.
And I like that idea because it'll keep my mind busy. When I'm like even tonight, I'm here talking about mental health, but my own mental health isn't even really coming into my head because I'm so busy with all this stuff going on the screens.
Yeah, that is true, but at the same time, it's like, it's definitely important to still focus on your mental health.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Much love to you, Lisa Nine Lives. Thanks for the hug sites. And yeah, we got through it. That's right.
Yeah,
And anyone can do that. All of you. Any of you guys get depressed, or get sad, you can all make it through it. Sooner or later, like, there's always a way out, and it doesn't have to be an easy way out, which sucks. Because, a lot of people do pick an easy way out. And this could be in several ways, but it's not always the best way. Sometimes you gotta travel
hmm,
that rocky road to get to, the desert or get to the beach or something.
yeah.
There you go. Let me hear that. Lisa says, my biggest thing is it's okay to not be okay. Just work on being better tomorrow.
I like that one.
Well, we might be at an ad break. Are we? No, we're good. I have to remember to refresh because the ad
Oh, it's not right.
it'll say it's on an ad and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, gifted a sub to Lisa.
Oh,
Thank you, appreciate it.
5 months in a row.
You love me.
That's
You
very loyal.
really love
Thank you
me.
very much. Oh, apparently I have. Oh my God, Lisa gifted a sub there.
So,
Yeah, we're back.
Thank you.
But we need to get
You love me. You really
the
love
alerts
me.
at the front of this thing.
yeah.
But thank you so much for the subs. We really do appreciate that. Gifted the sub back and forth. That's awesome. We're sitting here almost close to a hype train. We really appreciate that. That's epic. And so one second, so I have something in my background happening. I gotta give my girlfriend a goodnight message. She's having a really rough time right now, and I gotta make sure I tell her goodnight. But again, thank you so much for your support, guys. I love it. I'm just letting my girlfriend know that I'm here for her no matter what. Actually, I was going to say 24/7. Messenger call if you need me.
Let me get in for a second. Seth, I think you missed something.
Oh, God. We got a hype train. Hold on, I'm not done with my message. Thank you so much. Who did? Oh, and then you
Me.
subscribe to give us a hype train. That's freaking
Yep.
awesome. Thank you, bro.
We're
There we
almost
go.
there.
Yeah, we got our
Good.
first podcast and our first hype train on the
It's going
podcast.
pretty well. Where's my commission?
So beautiful. Yeah, we gotta give you a commission now.
But you know, I just had an idea there that I'd like to put out, if you don't mind, Seth.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, with the way this community is already picking up a little bit, you know, I was thinking first the idea of a Valentine's Day podcast.
I mean,
But
I
like
will have to see because, like I said, I do have a girlfriend.
yeah,
I'm not sure what she's gonna want to do, but right now I'm still kind of confined to my home, anyways. So I can't really go out
yeah, I
and
mean,
do anything. So maybe we'll plan on something earlier today. The heck?
channel.
We just got a
38 months pro.
37
Yeah.
month sub. Holy crap! We completed a level 1 hype train. Thank you guys.
But
Appreciate
my
it so
idea was,
much.
say if Seth's busy on Valentine's Day, I could, for 1 week only, maybe move this podcast to my channel. And, you know, for all the single people out there, if no one's doing anything on Valentine's Day, I could set up like a watch party. You know, we could have a Valentine's Day singles night watch party through Discord. We could have our own movie night and celebrate. Because, you know, there's nothing wrong with being single. No one said we can't celebrate, you know?
Yep.
What do you think of that, Seth?
That is a good idea. We could do it on your channel. I'd be fine with I would be fine with hosting that too, with with you.
Yeah, we
And,
could
and,
move that
and
over.
yeah, all we do is just put your Twitch instead of my Twitch.
Yeah, you know, we can have a few drinks, we can watch a few movies, have some party food. It'll be fun.
There you
All
go.
digital, but
That
fun.
could definitely be a good time. And again, thank you.
I'm gonna think on that this week and see what I can materialize out of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. Well, okay, we need to talk more about this stuff. Okay, the manipulative things still. Like, okay, well, there's a part of it that we never got into. And we need to, because this is what I'm dealing with right now in this moment. Okay. I keep having this person that is married, and their spouse or significant other, of course, knows how to get to them. They've been with them for years. You know what I mean? So they know how to manipulate them or control their mood. And what they do is, like, so many times, this person does everything they can, and it's never good enough. But this person, their significant other, like, emotionally beats them down and says, like, well, you're working too much. You're not spending enough time with the kids. You know, you clean the house too much and all these different things when their significant other isn't even helping them first thing. So he's making them feel bad, and then they're using that manipulation and that control to, like, get them to do things they want, like pay for certain things, get them a new TV, or like buy him a new car. And there is that problem that the person may not see that they're being manipulated or controlled or bullied in their relationship. But
Hmm.
the only thought that I have, and this is the thing that, like, in my case, I feel like if I get to that point, I can express myself. If I feel like being manipulated, I can't express myself. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But my thought is, this is something that I don't even know the answer to. How do we get over that hump of being scared to confront them?
See, even for me, that's a tough one because I haven't been in that situation. And even when it came to me being manipulated, I never confronted it
Yeah,
because when I was about, sorry, no, I did confront it, right? And I saw one tear in the eye, and I gave up. I changed my plan because I was like, this is gonna make this person sad. I can't do it, and I regret that. I should have just stuck with my gut, but it's very hard to to speak up and to defend yourself and to even to try and explain to the other person you think they're manipulating you because some people have such an ego, right, that
yeah,
they're manipulating you, but they mightn't actually think it's manipulation. They might think it's right, which is
yeah.
crazy, but there is people like that out there, you know.
Well, yeah,
I think
that's
that might
definitely
relate
true.
to what you're on about.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm
And
talking about. Also, like, my only thought is, anyone in the chat right now, do you guys have any insight on, like, how to confront someone if you think that they're controlling you or bullying you or just dragging you down entirely? Like, does anyone have any insight or thoughts on that subject in the chat?
choo choo.
Hey, choo choo. It's over. You guys got emotes. Hype train emotes. Thank you so much. Again, Ozan and Kitty and Sites and Lisa. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Very much.
Turns out we're going to have to
As
think about that one ourselves, man. We're going to have to look for an
we're
answer.
gonna have to pick, yeah.
Got to look
Do
for
you
some
mind if I throw
research.
one promotion out there that I completely forgot about?
Go ahead. Yes, let's do a promotion.
So I've been out of pro wrestling for quite a while as a trainee on and off from 2017 to 2022.
Yeah.
But there's this kid, well, he's older than me, but he's still a kid I'm friends with. He has a small YouTube channel, interviewing pro wrestlers, trainees, anyone that has anything to do with wrestling. And for some fucked up reason, he wants Ben Morris on the channel. So I'm going to be doing a little interview with him in wrestling character sometime pretty soon. So it's going to be on a YouTube channel, I assume, called James Nation. I'm going
Okay.
to be getting it recorded in the next week. So it should be up by this day next week. So if you have any interest in pro wrestling or want to see a side of your co-host that's a bit different to mental health and that's all pro wrestling, then maybe you'd like to check that out. Because it's only going to be about 6 minutes long, and I think it'll be a fun watch. I'm really looking forward to doing that interview.
That sounds like an awesome thing, bro.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's cool because it'll be the first time in over 6 months I do anything wrestling related.
and not just that, like you told me a little bit about that person's situation, and it's good.
Yeah, you know, they've
It's good that you're doing that because they look up to you, and yeah, they might see you as more than you really are, but that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, like I'm convinced he sees me a little more than I am, or no, a lot more than I am. And every time I tell him, I just said I was a kid who enjoyed wrestling, but he's convinced he wants to see Ben Morris in action promo style. So fuck it, I'm gonna give it to him. I can take him out of retirement for a few minutes, you know.
Yeah, why not?
I still got the Ben Morris promise.
You know, taking a little bit of time out of your day to help someone or make them happy is a great thing.
I'm happy about it and excited because you know it's gonna make him happy, and it's gonna make me happy too in the way it's gonna be fun for me to come back doing something a bit pro wrestling style, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I can completely understand that, and like I said, like that's something I try to do every day. If I can literally take a little bit of time out of my day every day to help someone, I'm definitely going to. Like, first thing, it makes me feel better about myself, and the second thing is like everyone in the world right now, we're all too separated. Like all the time, we're all doing our own things. We're trying to stay away from each other. There is no like togetherness really in the world that I see anymore, which is kind of another reason why I wanted to start this podcast because our world is chaos. It is chaos, and we have to figure out a way to
It really is.
adjust. We have to figure out a way to adapt and a way to be happy.
Because
But at the same time, me myself, I'm not only okay with adapting. Like I need to figure out a way to make us feel more united, or myself feel more like together. Like I don't want to feel like I'm alone in this world. You know, there's billions of people in this world. We should be trying to help each other and finding a way to live.
yeah, because like as we were saying a while ago about our past, we had really drifted in the last few years. But
Yeah,
I think this podcast has brought us closer than ever before, you know?
yeah, definitely. It's definitely a way to. It is a way to get together with people that feel some of the same emotions you feel, and it helps you be able to feel like you're not alone. Is what I would say. Like, you know what I mean? Like we could talk about our problems together, and then that way we don't have to deal with them by ourselves.
Right, 100%.
Yep, 110%, man. Okay, we're having the vibrating thing happen again. Sadly,
Okay,
we need
I'm gonna back out and then
yeah,
right back.
we need backstage. Are we gonna do like a backstage brawl or something?
I'd fuck you up.
So I can't lift my arms. What kind of fucking thing is that?
I'll push you over the guardrail.
Yeah, still, but a baby could beat my ass. What do you mean? It would be like that game you're trying to get me to get. Who's your daddy? You beat me up. Oh,
I'm your daddy.
we got a question in chat for you.
What's up?
Check it out.
What kind of vape is that? I'll put it out there. I don't promote vaping. I strongly disagree with it. But for the sake of the question, it's a Aspire Exhale refillable. So it's pretty much a disposable, but you can refill it till the coil runs out. I currently have an apple peach juice in it. It's pretty nice. Don't recommend vaping, but if you do already vape, these are pretty good.
Yep. But the flavors sound like they'd be nice together.
I mean, it's nice. It's probably full of like a million China chemicals. Still nice.
The million China chemicals.
China.
But well, I would have to say that at least it's better than cigarettes.
I mean, sadly, I do both, but I've smoked a lot less since I started vaping.
You smoke cigarettes. Ew.
Yeah, but I'm down to like 5 a day from like 2 packs.
5 a day? Well, that's not bad then.
Yeah.
But it'd be good to get rid of that flavor and smell. Cigarettes stink so bad.
Yeah.
Like I smoked for nearly 10 years, but after I quit, like I hate the smell of smoke.
That's the thing. When I smoke myself, the smell doesn't really bother me. But when I get home, I gotta change my t-shirt and go for a shower straight away. I hate the smell when I'm not smoking, or I
Well, I
hate the
mean,
smell of smoke from other people.
yeah, definitely. Sorry guys, we're taking a little bit of an intermission here while if you had to paint all the walls in your house. Yep. Well, I can't be getting it right now.
But we were on the topic. It's a little off topic, but I set sorting something. We were on the topic of like idols a while ago. I got Ellsworth on my arm right there. He signed that back in 2020, and I was a kid, so I couldn't get a tattoo. But I took a picture of it. I got his exact signature right where he signed when I was a kid. I think that's kind of cool.
That is really cool. Like a way to always remember
I
that.
got some dumb tattoos too, but we won't talk about them today.
Yeah, some very dumb tattoos.
Don't be dissing.
Oh, I'm dissing.
Don't diss it till you try it.
Yeah, well, I've been really thinking on that subject that I wanted answers to. With like how to get past that point. To be able to confront whoever is doing that. I think you
But
just need support. I think that's the best way to do it. Is you have to have someone build your confidence up or build you up to be able to overcome it.
right, because it's kind of similar to streaming. Because remember when I first started streaming when I was a kid, I
Yeah,
just had a microphone. I wouldn't have a camera on or anything.
yeah,
Like now, thanks to being around you and other streamers, I finally built up the confidence to use a webcam and stuff.
that is true. You
Which
didn't
is
used to be in that.
which is it's a small thing, but other people giving you confidence can send you miles when you need it.
Exactly. So I'm thinking maybe in my case, that's what I need to do is just boost her up, tell her that I'll be there for her when she confronts that person, and you know what I mean. Tell her that you have a place to go no matter what. So whatever
Yeah,
happens, you'll be okay. And I think that's what I have to
yeah.
do.
If that doesn't work, just tell her Ben Morris will kick his ass.
Yeah, there you go. Well, my friend from Ireland, come here for the fake green card and kick his ass, and no one will ever know.
We're getting married.
No, we ain't getting married. No, that's not gonna happen.
I need that green card.
You're gonna have to marry my sister then.
Misty,
Yep, you have to marry my sister, Misty.
I don't see a problem with that.
I mean, yeah, I guess you probably wouldn't actually. I was about to say something about her drug usage, but never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying you do drugs, but I'm saying you may not have a problem with people that do.
I'm non-judgmental.
Yeah. I used to say that all the time. And to a point, I'm really not, but at the same time, I am. If I really care about the person, it's really hard not to be judgmental.
Yeah, I agree completely on that.
Like a random person or an acquaintance or someone that I talk to once a month or once a year, like of course I could be like that with them, like, but not judge what they do. But if they're a part of me, my life, and they're like to what I care about, of course I'm going to judge what they do because you always want better for the people that you care about.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I'm not used to this so much. All this talking,
Yeah.
doing it for 2 hours is it's a long time. But you know,
Am I drying your throat?
but yeah, but I feel like maybe at like the hour and a half mark, maybe we should leave the last few last part of time for like the people that are around to chat and like just to talk.
I think that's a good.
Because yeah, we had a lot of subjects to talk about, but really we've gone through them already.
Yeah, we've gone through.
And the ones that we haven't gone through are just not necessary for tonight. They're just
No, they don't really fit with everything else we've
yeah,
talked about. We'll get to them eventually when we have a night when
yeah,
something else comes up that kind of matches, but they're
yeah,
not really on topics of relationships or anything.
yeah. And then tonight was really about like relationships and being manipulated and like the dark side of relationships and about how it makes you feel lonely and
I think what you were really
relationships
gave me.
relationships are just difficult sometimes and a bad
Yeah.
relationship can be so bad.
Mhm.
What were you saying?
I was saying, even with what you were telling me about the manipulation stuff, it's believe it or not, even during this podcast, I've been thinking a little bit when I was joining back. It's changed my mindset a little bit on things that happened to me. Because I was thinking back and I was like, shit, that really was manipulation. It wasn't just, you know, standard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like manipulation can come in small portions, it can come in big portions. It like it sometimes it's not even manipulation. Sometimes it's just straight up bullying. Like
Yeah.
literally beating someone down to where they feel worthless and using that to make you feel better. That's just horrible, and that's what so many people do to their loved ones, like to their spouse, and it's horrible. Like you
I have a
pick to
question
be with
for you.
somebody, you pick to care about somebody, and then you beat them down and make them feel worthless just so they stay.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I need your advice on one thing actually that came to
Okay,
mind.
what's up?
What would you call it when someone accuses you of ungodly, horrible things, right?
Okay, yeah, I
And
see where you get
then
that.
a week later texts you saying, I know the right girl is out there somewhere for you and you're a good person.
So do you know what? You know at that point they're trying to manipulate you for sure.
Really?
Yeah, this is the reason. Okay, you would think, oh well, they just feel bad for what they did, but no, that's them giving you positive reinforcement. So you might bite into it and let them regain control.
Ah, so it's like you'd be basically giving someone respect even though they just fucked you over.
Exactly, and not just that, they might try to use that respect to further manipulate you.
That makes so much sense. Fuck, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, like that's something you have to be careful of, and that's something that happens so many times. Like you got the women that are getting, physically, or no, let's just say people, not just women, because men get beat too, and that is a thing. But what I was gonna say is, you got so many people that are being beat in their relationships, and then they'll do something to make a move. That they'll leave, they'll go stay at their mom's, they'll go stay at their friend's house, and then they'll make the mistake of talking to that person and letting that person apologize, letting that person be like, baby, if you come back, it'll never happen again. Baby, I love you. Don't worry about it. It was just a one time thing. And this could be the 20th time they've done it. But
Yeah, like
that's them trying to get you to come back so they can get you back in their grips.
that's what's fucked up because thinking back, I guess we could say on one situation I certainly manipulated,
Yeah,
right? Or I won't say it on here, but the injury I sustained
yeah.
within 10 minutes of that happening, I was comforting the person who caused the injury. That's fucked.
Yeah, and you see, it doesn't necessarily have to be that they're bringing you back into their lives, or it doesn't have to be like they're. You can still not be with them and still continue to be manipulated, like you said. Like they
Yeah.
took a situation where they hurt you and turned it around to where you're apologizing to them.
Yeah.
That's
Which
definitely a way to know that you're being completely manipulated by someone, because that is kind of what manipulation is.
yeah.
It's like that. I mean, a lot of times, this is the best way that I would say manipulation is described. If I go and punch you in the face for no reason at all, okay,
Hmm.
and then you're like, "What the hell?" You're pissed off, and then I go back up and apologize to you, and like, "I'm sorry, I punched you in the face. Going through a rough time. My life shit." You know what I mean? And this is me. This is like me lashing out, and I'm really sorry. You know what I mean? And then they go back and say, they'll make us some kind of reason like, well, you did this thing and you deserved it, really. And like they'll pound that into your head later, or they'll make little notions about it without actually making you notice it to where you accept it, because our subconscious mind can still take things, and people that manipulate actually know how to use that against us. So like they can make
Yeah.
like certain things like, oh, getting punched sucks, but sometimes people deserve it. And like they'll throw little things like that into your head. And the next thing you know, you're like, man, I'm sorry, I deserve to be hit.
Yeah. Like, would someone purposely lying to you or serial lying to you to quote unquote protect your feelings fall
Yeah.
under manipulation? So that when they open up about the truth, you feel sorry for them and accept it because they eventually were honest.
Yeah, and they do that to rebuild their ego, to keep themselves up. Like, and that leads them to be able to manipulate further. If
Yeah,
you
because
really want to hurt someone that manipulates you, you have to find out they're manipulating you, prove it, and never give them closure.
that's the thing. Like, I called the person out on a lie they told me. They told me to lie 2 months before, but for some reason, what we were talking about, I remember the exact conversation. I won't say the topic, but I said to them, I was like, hold up, why did this situation happen? Right?
Yeah.
And I was told a completely different story to what I was told at the time. And dude, knowing that it's not even the truth that hurt me, it was knowing that they lied in the first place to cover the truth. That shit felt like a stab in the back.
Oh yeah, that's gotta hurt. That definitely has to hurt, and that can be horrible. But like, that's the thing is, figuring out how to get back at them is like back, or figure out how to step over that and like confront them is the hardest part.
Yeah, because it's been a long time now, but I finally accepted I don't want to get my own back on this person. I don't want closure. I don't want to mess up their
Yeah,
life or messing up mine. I just want to better my own life and hope that that'll eventually prove
yeah,
you kind of hurt me so much that it pushed me on to another level in my life
yeah.
and it benefited me in the long run.
But yeah, sometimes the negative things that happen to us do end up making us more positive in some manner. But
Yeah, like another example of this podcast. If this stuff never happened to me, I'd never think of doing a mental health podcast.
true. And some
No,
people,
I wish it didn't happen,
and
but
then some
you know,
people wouldn't be able to hear your story. Like that's the thing that a lot of people realize. Like there's people that have such small things happen to them, but they think it's such a big deal. You know what I mean? But it's sometimes it's the negative things in our lives that structure us into what we become in the end. Like if we had
Yeah,
no negativity, we would all be the same.
yeah, and if we were all the same, this would be a very boring world.
Yeah, it would. And yeah, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes we feel like we don't deserve it. And quite frankly, sometimes we really don't deserve some of the pain that we go through, some of the torment that we
Yeah,
have in this world, which does suck. You know, some people like to describe our current world as hell, but you know, it's without the negativity,
but
you can't
but
appreciate, and you wouldn't appreciate all the positive things.
but this world is only hell if you let it be hell.
That's true. There's always a silver lining, and you
If
could,
you try hard enough, you could make this world better than heaven, essentially, for yourself.
yeah, I completely, I completely agree that the mindset changes everything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, think about
like
this.
as I
Like,
said in
if we were to be homeless, like thinking about being homeless right now, that would suck for me, and I would hate it.
yeah,
But you know, there's homeless people out there that are like, no, I wouldn't trade this for the world.
yeah, like as I said in our exclusive TikTok the other day, when the
Yep,
plan fails, follow the mindset because at
yep,
heart, your mindset can be completely different to the plan you have.
yep. That is a very true statement, and you know, you can really turn stuff around in your life if you start like getting rid of all your negative thoughts and just throwing them aside and only stay positive. You're gonna first thing you're gonna attract like-minded people that love positivity, and that's gonna help you just soar in positivity because that's just what
Yeah, like
happens. You know, like if I'm
here's the
around
perfect
someone and I'm positive and they're being negative, I'm not gonna be able to connect with them as much, and it's not gonna make me want to be as positive. It's gonna actually wear down my positivity. So if
yeah, like
yeah, go ahead.
the kind of perfect example I have for that. Sorry for cutting you off, but
No, that's
anyway,
fine.
forget it. Is like I used to never get tattoos, piercings, or like dark music, right?
Yeah,
But since I started doing that, I've made a friend. I won't say good friend because we're just friends, but like local, who has the same interests in tattoos and piercings and stuff.
yeah,
But if I never did that, I would have probably never got friendly with this person because we would have had nothing in common and never talked, you know?
yeah.
So that's the same as like if you have a positive attitude, positive people, interest in tattoos, meet tattoo people, interest in wrestling, meet wrestlers.
Yeah, and it's good to try to surround yourself with like-minded people. Like how
Yeah,
you
now
want to feel
sometimes
are
it's
the
nice
people you
to have,
should surround themselves. Which does suck
yeah,
sometimes because sometimes you may have to get rid of people that you care about with your life that
I, yeah,
you
I've
realize that
had
they
to do
drag you
that.
down.
I'm sure you did too.
Yep. And that's what I'm trying to get my
Like,
girlfriend to do. She needs to get herself away from the situation that she's in because she's being dragged down by it.
yeah, like I've had friends who have just made one dumb decision, but I had to drop them, even though I wanted to help them. For my own sake, I had to drop them,
Yeah,
or else I'd be associated with that, and I don't want that on my plate.
exactly. Because that's also a true thing. The people that you hang out with sometimes are the people they're gonna make other people see you in that way.
Yeah, like let's say if you a really bad example. Let's say you hang around with Hitler, right? You're
Yep.
going to be technically associated with him, and people will think your views are his. But if you hang around with, let's say, I don't know, Joe Biden, you're going to be associated with his views, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. If that's who you hang around, people are gonna see you as that. Like that happened to me when I was younger. Here, let me go into that just for a second. Okay, when I was younger, I was a part of, let's just say, a group. Okay, and I wasn't exactly as bad as them in my opinion. Like, but I was looking for acceptance. I was looking for someone to be around. So I would be around them while they were doing bad things. And
Mm-hmm.
one time that really caught me up. I wasn't doing anything wrong. They were, but I was the one that was there in a wheelchair. I was the one they remembered. I was the one that they spotted, and they're like, "Hey, that guy, I know it was him. she has the wheelchair. And like
Mhm.
that goes into that fact, like you gotta be careful about who you're around.
Mhm.
Well, I gotta send a message. I gotta have my mom get me a drink. I am drying up here. Give me a minute, guys. I need to get some liquids. I gotta have my mom get me some drink.
Oh, good. I'll keep the masses entertained. Um, but like even when people are just having like in general down days, sometimes people say it's good to just keep to yourself those days.
Yeah.
But just in my opinion, from my experience, if you're having a down day, it's the day you should try to push yourself to do more. So you'll hopefully end the day on a better note than it started.
Yeah.
And that will make you feel really good about yourself going into the next day.
That brings me back into Lisa Nine Lives. When she came in here, remember she said something about yeah, I want you to go more in depth on it because I'm literally losing my voice here. But
She said something about if make tomorrow better, basically.
yeah, like tomorrow can
Like if
always
you're
be
having a
better.
bad day, just make tomorrow better.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we all have tough times, right? And I know we all show it at some stage or another. But some days when people are having tough times, that's the days you don't see it. Because the tougher times people go through, the harder and bigger of a shell people build around themselves. So there could be someone out there that you see having the worst day of their life, but it could be the happiest you've publicly seen them in a long time.
Oh, true.
Because like there's days, where I've been the nicest way I can put it is I've been fucked in the head. There was times I've had I couldn't see it tomorrow. Seth, I'm
Yeah.
sure you had the same thing stage or another. But they're the days I'd be out with friends and people and wrestling trying to live my best life.
Oh,
And
that's
everyone would
true.
be like, oh, look, he's doing great. He's wrestling. He did a front flip for the first time.
Yeah.
And then I'd go back when I was living in an apartment or a hostel or whatever, and I'd bang my head off the back of the bed, being like, how the fuck did I get through another day? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I can see that. And that's something that people don't realize too. Like
Yeah, and then
loneliness doesn't even necessarily mean that you're alone. You could be around thousands of people every day and still feel alone.
I felt most lonely in others' company. Because, when you're at home on your own, it's just you. So you're on your lonesome, but you're not necessarily lonely. But imagine if you're out with 10 friends and they're all talking, but your head's all over the place. So you're not really in the conversation.
Yep.
You're just in their presence. You just, you know, you feel lonely in company because you're not really part of it. You're just there physically.
Yep.
And since you're not really getting yourself involved and other people aren't involved in you, that's the real loneliness.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I see that Kitty had a message out there. Why do you think I play games all night? You see, that does make sense. And you don't necessarily need to even be by someone to not feel lonely exactly. Because you feel lonely in real life. It's nice to be able to connect with people and have a social experience that stimulates you. Like you could be
Yeah, like
home with three people, but if they don't stimulate you mentally, like you're still gonna feel alone.
that's why I played video games with you, Seth, so much when I was a kid because I was lonely. I was like, do you know what? I need to make myself company, and I'd still feel lonely playing games. But I was like, at least I'm talking to someone. At least I'm doing something not important but productive.
Yeah,
You know,
but not
keep your
alone.
brain going. Because even back when we were having fights, playing Fortnite, arguing, right? It
Yep.
was bad, yeah, but it was better than sitting in your room stuck in your own thoughts
Yeah.
to a point.
Yeah, I can see that. Like sometimes maybe it wasn't, but
You know,
almost every time I'd say it
because
was for
I'm not
sure.
saying it's yeah, because I'm not saying it's good to snap at people, but at the same time, as long as the other person can take it and you give the right understanding after and apologize in the right way,
Yeah.
they might understand more of your situation because they're like, okay, he snapped at me because of a small thing I said, but I wonder what's going on in his life to push him to this point.
That's true too, and you know that happens a lot, and that's something we don't see or think about. I bet, like sometimes you get snapped at by somebody, you're like, "Well, that was fucking uncalled for." But do you really take the
Yeah,
time to think about what's wrong with them and why they snapped? You know, that's why
not really.
when someone does snap at me, and I think it was out of the ordinary and out of nowhere, I might say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, like I remember there was times I was snapping at my mother, my nan, my teacher who came to my house to teach me. And my mother and nan would be like, what the fuck did I do? But then one day I snapped at my tutor and he just gave me a hug and was like, tell me what happened. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I snapped at you. He's like, no, what happened in the last week that pushed you to snapping at me?
Yep,
And I was like, look, you were in the right place at the wrong time. I've had this, that, and the other happening in my personal life. I
yeah,
couldn't take it out there, and I knew you could take me snapping at you and probably accept it.
yeah,
And he's like, I'm not mad at you or disappointed at you for snapping. He's like, I'd rather you snap at me than do it in a dangerous place where someone could beat the shit out of you for
yeah,
it, you know? And from that day forward, I was like, someone finally understands the situation I'm in because
yep,
that was the day I broke down and told him everything that was going on in my personal life.
yeah,
And he even told me at the time, he was like, you're in a dangerous situation here. You can either go with it or end it.
yeah.
And he didn't tell me which one to do. And I think I picked the wrong option.
Well, that's true, but you see,
But
that comes into the point that we're trying to make too. Is
yeah,
when you're dealing with someone's life, sometimes you don't feel comfortable making a decision for them.
yeah. And just like he said it in a way that he was like, here's a good example. It was like him saying, you can get hit by a car or you can get hit by an attack helicopter. And you're there thinking, which is the less worse of them? And I was like, well, putting up with shit is probably better than a breakup right away. Thinking back, I was wrong. But he had to say that because he didn't want to be liable if I just went and broke up with the person and then I blamed him for the breakup for telling me
Yeah,
to. You know,
exactly,
that's like
and
what we're doing.
exactly. So, like any information we give, we don't want it to any way be taken negatively. And if you think it's bad advice, do not take it like we're not professionals at all. We're not mental
Yeah,
professionals. We have no degrees. We're just trying to, support each other and try to sort through some of the crazy shit that we all put up
yeah,
with.
and if you don't like some of our advice, tell us, and we'll look back at what we said, and there could be a time come that we were like, yeah, maybe we could have judged that a little better,
Yeah, then that will help
and we'd
us
be
learn to get
glad you
better
brought it up
advice.
to us. Yeah, so then we wouldn't make the same, not calling it a mistake, but we wouldn't say the same thing to someone else because we're like, okay, clearly that's not how it should work. So maybe we should think on this more and get
Yeah,
more established. Or
definitely.
maybe we just didn't give enough information with it. Maybe we said the right thing, but gave too much open source to it. So it could be taken like 20 different ways,
Yeah,
you know?
which that could definitely happen a lot. Well,
Turn down.
thank you, Bob. I got it. My lovely mom got me something to drink.
Is it milk? Sorry.
No, it's watermelon water.
Ooh.
Wait, why do you say is it milk?
What?
You're bad. Is it
You
milk?
look like a milky baby.
I'm not a freaking milky baby. What the heck? Okay, guys, we're getting towards the end of our thing. It's
Yeah.
going on our 2 hour mark. Man, this has been good. It went pretty well. I didn't dry out to the
We
very
went,
end.
yeah. you know, as we were saying, we'll finish it off with a few promotions. You know, Sorting the Chaos, Facebook,
Yep, I'm gonna repost
Rockers
all of them.
Gaming, Twitter. You know, don't forget to follow these things. Our TikToks, they're in the chat.
Yes, check out
We
all
got
of
the
our stuff.
graphics for 40% off until the 1st. We forgot to say, we got Spreadshirt, we got Sorting the Chaos merch, we got
Yeah, we
mugs,
did forget
t-shirts,
that.
hoodies.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
any of you guys
that's
would
a
be
cool.
interested in supporting us further, yeah, we do have that merchandise.
Because the good thing with the merch is instead of like say subs are great, they get the channel up there, but also with merch, you get a physical thing to remember
Yep.
this podcast by and support us. You know,
Yeah,
we
here
got
I'm gonna
on
bring up.
screen.
I'll bring up a picture of some of the merch that we
Yeah,
have
and
right now.
also this supports us directly because we get the revenue directly.
Exactly. So this is where let's go. We need to find the product. There we go.
20% off everything.
All right, let's do the show all designs. Where's Sorting the Chaos? It's not there. It's up here, right? Did I not post it? Hold up, hey.
Ooh.
Oh, that's why it got rejected. Okay, let's
What?
retract that. Remember that thing.
What's up?
Our merch idea it got rejected.
Okay, we're gonna work on that and we'll get back to you next week with our merch.
Okay, it needs to be in a different. It's that design quality. That's
it's the quality.
confusing. That's pretty damn good
But
quality design.
it's a high quality picture.
That's right. We'll work on it. Scratch
We're
the
not that
merch
short,
idea.
right?
But yeah, we got all our socials out there. Feel free to check them out. We'll be posting more stuff about our podcasts, which are now
Don't forget
only Monday
Ben
for
Morris
right now.
interview soon too.
Yes, the Ben Morrison review. That'll be interesting.
Really excited for that one. Actually, we might, since it's only 6 minutes. I don't know if we'll show it on our podcast stream, but we might throw that up someday on the Rockers stream if we're doing an intermission or something.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do something like that for sure.
We can throw up a sneak peek.
All right. Anyways, we had a bit of a hiccup with our merch. I'll get that figured out because let's redo the design. But anyways, this has been an awesome podcast. I really hope that everyone got some knowledge from it and we've helped you in some sort of way. But yeah, we're gonna end it here, and we'll see you guys on next week's podcast. And like we
See you in
said,
the next one.
look for
Don't forget.
the
Chaos,
promotions
everyone.
because we're gonna be promoting it everywhere.
You'll see it. Don't worry.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
Take care. God bless. Stay safe and have a good night.